Welcome, everybody. My name is Dr. Yazman, here with a new series from The Cave. And we're doing here on YouTube and Instagram longer form interview content with interesting folk that we've encountered. And today we have James, a regular host of our podcast, of course, and admin at Cave Dweller Music. And we have Crybaby Club.
Hey.
So, Crybaby, do you want to introduce your channel to our viewers?
Sure. I'm Crybaby Club. I go by Crybaby. People also call me Sean. I go by a lot of names, but okay. So Crybaby Club is my Twitch channel, and I have been described as a chaos streamer, which means if you think about it, we're gonna stream it. That's everything. So video games, art, music, IRL, and then music. You guys get to see me. That's basically what the Twitch channel is me just doing kind of everything. So that's what that is. I try to stream every day too. So
how long have you been
day.
streaming for?
It's been, let's see, it's 2024. So it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. Yeah. So I started in January. So I'm going on my 3rd year now.
3rd year.
So,
how have you found Twitch as a platform in your time streaming there over the past couple of years?
I personally like Twitch. I like being a viewer on Twitch as well. And so in general, I like Twitch. As a streamer, I like Twitch as well. But I do hear like a lot of the gripes and complaints that other people have about Twitch as far as like the money,
Right.
And the ads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if I did have a complaint, which I don't really, because like I am a full-time streamer, but I'm not using Twitch as my full-time income. Does like that makes sense?
Yeah.
So it doesn't, like, I don't really have any complaints, but the ads, I don't like the ads, not from a viewer's
Nobody does, really.
perspective of seeing, like, not from a viewer's perspective of seeing the ads, from a streamer's perspective of being like, I can't turn them off, and I'm making people watch these ads that I don't support. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, you got to
make that balance between. I had this encounter. It took me a while to really. I mean, I only started streaming on Twitch a month ago. I should say a year ago, and I had been wondering for a while, like. It took me ages to work up the courage to start running mid-rolls. So James, on Twitch, right, what we do is Twitch forces you to have ads on your channel nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So what you either have one of two solutions. You can do nothing, and as a streamer you just ignore it, and then you get and then every viewer gets hit with a pre-roll, right? So I think it's 30 seconds of pre-roll. Which means every time somebody opens your stream, they are immediately beset with 30 seconds of ad, which most streamers hate, because if you think about it, when you're watching something like on YouTube, for example, or Twitch, a lot of viewers, I mean, I do this sometimes. If I'm on YouTube and I see an ad come up, like if I'm on my phone or something like that, and I see an ad come up, I am liable to just close it and find a different video to avoid seeing the ad sometimes.
Yeah.
And a lot of viewers do that on Twitch too. Like if you see straight away an ad, like a lot of people will just close out and find a different stream.
But yeah, it's like they don't really have an incentive to stay there. Like with YouTube, you're there for a reason. You want to find out, why such and such did whatever such and such did. So like if there's an ad in there, like you're sitting there and you're annoyed, right? But you're not clicking off because you haven't gotten to the story. But like as a live, there really is no ending story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're literally there for the person. So if you're getting hit with an ad, you're like, okay, well, let me go see what the next person is doing. Which
Yeah.
it sucks. It sucks to have that. So as a streamer, I don't like the ads. I don't like the cut in my content. I don't like to beat my viewers over the head with ads. So
Yeah.
I do have the pre-roll ad where when you first get in my stream, you get the 30 seconds ad, but after that, I don't get any ads. So my revenue for ads is zero to, it's like, it's very, very small. And
Yeah.
also I just can imagine having like, like right now we don't have that many viewers to make that matter, right? Like I go to some people's channel, I'm like, there's like
Yeah.
5 people in there, and then they have like 8 ads. I'm like, oh my god, 8 ads.
I'm always
like,
amazed when people do, you get, when you have channels that, like all I run, I'm a small streamer, but so I always thought, like, I don't want to be too bold, like when you see us, what typically, James, the solution is, like Crybaby said, is you run mid rolls, right? So, and the way most of us do it is you run ads for a certain period of time, usually at the top of every hour. It seems to be the most popular sort of way. And what that does is, depending on how much ad you run in as a mid-roll, that cuts out pre-rolls. So the more, if you run 3 minutes of ads every hour, then you get no pre-rolls at all for the whole stream.
Yeah.
But I always feel when you see somebody who has, like, they got like 4 viewers or something like that, and they're doing 3 minutes of ads, I always feel it's a little bold, it's like,
it is a little bold, but
yeah,
but
like,
they don't know. And Twitch has this
no,
way of basically letting, like, so if you have Turbo, the way Turbo is you don't have ads at all on Twitch, versus subscribing to someone's channel to not see the ads, right? That's why you would subscribe to someone's channel. Well, if you have Turbo, you don't have any incentive to subscribe to the channel because you're not getting ads anyway. So how you get paid off of Turbo is to have ads. So if you don't have ads, you're not getting paid off the people who ain't gonna subscribe because they're not getting ads anyway. So it basically puts pressure on the streamer that if you don't have ads, you have to have some kind of personality or something that keeps the people in there, because if they have Turbo, they don't have any incentive to buy. So that, I mean, also that's another reason why Twitch is not like, I'm not on Twitch to make money, because it's a very tricky way. And if you're not doing the numbers, then like I said, I enjoy Twitch. I have fun on there. But like I do see, like, and they're real complaints. Like I'm not trying to downplay it, like, oh yeah, they're kind of silly, but no, they're real complaints. And to me, the biggest one for me is just the ads. It's out of control. Like I didn't have Turbo for a month, and I just was screaming, please, someone give me some money so I can buy Turbo. Like
it's frustrating with ads as a streamer, because you get like it's not like with the podcast. Like you if you get there with your podcast app, whatever it is, whether it's Apple Podcast or it's whatever, there's lots of different platforms. Like we're on a ton of different podcasting platforms, and you can kind of fast forward through the ads usually. Like I got Podcast Addict on my Android, and you just skip it and it doesn't matter. But on Twitch, you can't do that on Twitch.
You can't do that.
You have to sit through the ad. And
so question, can you use an ad blocker? Does that work on Twitch, or is it immune to that?
It's complex.
Yeah, there you go. Like I've had an ad blocker, but it was complicated, like you said, and then it was only for a certain time. Like I don't know why they're on it, but they are really on it. They want people to watch these ads, and the thing is, they're not even that good. Like at least like give me some kind of incentive as a Twitch streamer to want to make these ads, because we're all way more creative than these fucking ads, man. And it's annoying that like people gotta sit through the same one.
What do you do during? I don't mean to cut you off, but when you run your mid rolls, Crybaby, what do you usually do on your stream during your ads?
I don't run mid rolls, so
you get
the ads when you first come in, which is like the 30 seconds, and then after that you don't get any more ads if you don't click out of the stream. I do think though that maybe after like 2 or 3 hours, you may get an ad. You might get an ad, but it's always a very really really small ad. So it's
Yeah.
never long enough for anybody to be like, oh, ads, you know. So and I watch movies. So I had to have a conversation with my chat
Yeah.
about possibly turning ads on. Right? They were all like,
Yeah.
yeah, do it, pound us with ads, and I'm just like. I'm just like, I can't do it. Like I slept on
Yeah.
it, you know, and the next day I just was like, no, I can't do it. Because there were people in chat who were like, you know, I just don't have enough money to subscribe. You know, they weren't on Turbo. And I'm like, I don't wanna have my friendship behind a paywall, honestly, because that's
Yeah.
really what it is, right? Like I said,
Mm.
I'm not using this to make big bank. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not using it to, keep my household. I'm just doing it for fun. And, you know, I do appreciate the money that I do get from it, but it's not that necessary. And I don't want anybody to be like, oh man, I'm too fucking poor to hang out with Hippie Sean. You know, that kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
so.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I think
But
people. Sorry, you go ahead, James.
oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say a lot of these like streaming and social sites and stuff are like I feel like there's a line where people are willing to tolerate ads to, and they're crossing it in the last 6 to 12 months. It's just getting progressively worse and worse.
Yeah.
Like, look at Facebook now. Like the Facebook feed has become almost unusable.
Really? I'm not on Facebook anymore.
It's so
Facebook
bad.
is insufferable now.
Oh
It's
man.
horrible.
Instagram's pretty bad for it too.
I
It's
see
bad, but it's
Instagram
not
getting
as
like
bad.
that. Okay, I've seen it getting bad like that now, but before I was like, oh, this is kind of bad. And I remember when it didn't happen at all, when there were no ads on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden when Facebook got it, it just became just ad written. And
You know what
now,
annoys me about IG with ads is the way that it's like the algorithm kind of wants you to pay for ads to be run if you're promoting content, right? So
Yeah,
like you get killed in the algorithm if you don't like
Dang.
run an ad every so often yourself.
pay to play.
yeah,
And so they kind of it's like what Twitch has done. I guess what I'm saying is they're trying to get content creators to run ads. So they're trying to make us do it on Instagram as well, like the way Twitch has. And it's kind of frustrating because we don't want to make our viewers have to sit through that stuff.
exactly. You got to have a break in the content. Like if we're having like a conversation, because I'm planning on possibly maybe doing tarot on stream again.
That'd be
And
cool.
so like if I'm doing tarot readings with somebody and then there's an ad break in the stream,
Yeah. Kills the vibe.
Yeah.
it totally kills the vibe. So
Can you
I'm
talk about that a bit more, doing tarot on stream?
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot. I do tarot. I'm actually like a tarot master. Oh. So I do tarot on. I used to do tarot on stream, but also I started doing tarot on another channel. Called it's called Goddess Elite, and so I've been doing tarot like we've only done it one Wednesday, but I think it's every other Wednesday or maybe every Wednesday a month. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
the schedule, but on Wednesdays I will be doing tarot on that stream. And I've been thinking about possibly doing it on my stream, but I'm kind of trying to figure out how to really fit it in,
Right.
because the problem with the tarot on stream was that we would be having a lot of fun
Yeah.
and turning up, and then somebody would want a tarot reading, and then I'd have to give a tarot reading, and it would totally bring the mood not necessarily down, but it would just bring it somewhere else. And
Yeah.
then as soon as the tarot reading was done, now I have to try to get the energy back up, you know what I mean, or like get the vibe back to where it was before. So I have to think like how I want to present it. And then also we're going to be moving more towards IRL streams. So
Yeah. I've seen you
it's-
experiment with those.
yeah, I'm just kind of waiting to see where it all fits in. But like, cause right now what I've been trying to tell chat since like October, and I know it's been like a long time, but we're in a transition period where we're no longer, cause I was Ghost of Sean Lamar, then I was Ghost of Hippie Sean, then I was Bad Hippie Sean, which I
Yeah.
always was. I always was Bad Hippie Sean, but now I'm Crybaby, which basically all of that stuff is done. So all of that Crybaby, all of the Bad Hippie Sean, all the ghosts, all that stuff is done. Which is this is like Crybaby was what we were looking for a long time ago, because when I changed my name from Ghost to Sean Lamar,
Yeah, I
when I
remember
changed my
that.
name from Ghost, people were like, "Why did you change it? Why did you change it?" And I kept trying to tell people that it's gonna change again, like this, because I just had to stop being Ghost, because people were taking the ghosting just really too far. And
Rebranding is tough.
I couldn't
Yeah.
stop it. It was just going. I couldn't stop it. So I'm like, okay, well, the ghosting started because hippie was dead anyway. Like
Yeah.
my last recorded album, um like really recorded, was Death of Hippie,
Yes.
which was in like 2019. And so you have, since 2019 there hasn't been Bad Hippie Sean. But then once I got on Twitch, because I wasn't ever on the internet, so I was a ghost on the internet, so that's where the ghost came from.
Right.
And so when I started on Twitch, people started liking my shit, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a ghost anymore. I never really was a ghost. I just didn't want to be on the internet. And so
Yeah.
now I'm like trying to tell people that like the Twitch channel is a hangout spot, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like, yeah, you know, it's me, right? Like it's Crybaby, but it's like it's still a hangout spot for everyone to come hang out. So I wanted to have a name that was more of like a club or
That's
something
cool
like
branding.
that. And so that's why Crybaby Club has happened and is happening. And so yeah,
It's a big effort to rebrand. You know, like
yeah.
you did it with your PR business, James.
Yeah, I did. I've done it a couple of times. I mean, I did it with Cave Dweller. I've done it with the PR business. I did it
Cave
with my
Dweller
work podcast.
yeah. We are here with Cave Dweller. Cave Dweller was originally was rebranded.
Yes.
Cave Dweller started as something stupid. It was like
so stupid.
I made this group. It's like a couple of friends, and it was called something really dumb, which is not your grandfather's
Not your
music posting
grandfather's.
group. And I was like, our image was like Iggy Pop's saggy tits, and and then I was like, people started actually joining, like people who weren't friends, and then I started like writing reviews, and people were like, this is cool, you should do something with this. So I was like, all right, we need something like better than this. So I came up with Cave Dweller Music, and then once we did that and made the website, it became like a legitimate thing. But yeah, that was like a big rebrand.
It's a big effort, you know, like it's a big effort to do. You've got to going out and telling everybody, you know, and you get to the point, there's a certain point where you've told like a big chunk of people, like, this is what it is now, you know, all your regular core audience, you've told them. But then you get a certain amount, then there's always a certain amount of people that you've got to, like, you get to a point, like this has happened to me where you just have to, you get tired of explaining to everybody, but you've got it because it's part of the process. It's like,
I just tell people this is what it is now. I'm sorry, like it's Also, you know, I went into someone's channel like, oh man, you changed your name again, and I'm like, okay, I'll change it again. Like it doesn't matter. Who cares? Like, it's literally just a Twitch channel.
When you first got started streaming, were there any existing streamers that you kind of looked to and you thought like you kind of were influenced by or kind of shaped your vibe on Twitch?
I started streaming because of Carl's community, Force of Wires community, because I was in that community and you know I was getting close to people, and then they found out that I do shit. As in, like, I've been on the radio. I've had a radio show. I was marketing director of a radio station.
Right.
So I've done podcasts. And I used to perform stand-up comedy a lot. I've done a lot of stand-up comedy. I've been on like comedy tours. Yeah. And also I performed a lot of live music. So that's basically where my background comes from, is doing live shows and being like in the entertainment business in that aspect.
Yeah.
And so when everyone found out that stuff, I was doing art at the time, and so everyone wanted to be on the art. So I'm like, I could just draw art or whatever.
The
And
streams,
then
yeah.
on the streams. And so I started doing art, and then like as the art projects, because I don't really, let's see. I'm not really into doing art. And I know that I did art for a long time on stream, and I championed art, and I know everyone's going to be like, but you championed art. And I'm like, okay, I did. We all were there. We all saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
That happened. But art doesn't really make me happy. Like, I don't really care for it. And, that's why. As I had explained before, I know all the things that I did, but it's just it's never really been my medium for expression. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just definitely not my favorite. And so I just did it whatever. And so now basically what I was saying was that I really didn't have any art projects at the time. So
Yeah.
I was doing tarot. So I was in the tarot community, and the tarot community was kind of garbage,
Right.
very toxic. And so I got out of it immediately, and that's when I decided to just not do tarot on stream anymore, to just do art. And so that's when all of these like art projects started coming up, where I could like, okay, I could do this, I could do that. So we became an art stream. But like for the most part, I always loved Carl's stream. So I have like commands on my stream. I got that from Carl.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get like the process of how to do it. And then there was a few other streamers that I got pretty close with in their communities. But for the most part, Carl, I like Melissa Bug. If anybody knows Melissa Bug, she's not really like fantasy. She's more like a vlog style, and then she plays video games every now and then. Also, if you've seen Isidore, they kind of have a similar stream where they're like at one point. But yeah, Melissa Bug is really like I liked watching her stream and being like, okay, this is how I kind of want my stream to be.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But that's probably it. I mean, I've definitely been influenced by like a lot of big streamers, or well, they're big to us, but in the sense of Twitch, they're not really big streamers. People who get like
it's funny 75
to 100. Yeah, like
because
for a long time,
somebody
when I was watching
big.
Carl. Yeah, a long time when I was watching Forest of Wires, to me he was just huge, right? To me, he's huge. And, at that time when I started watching him, we was getting like 75 to 100, maybe like the most, right? And then like now, obviously he's getting like hundreds and, up to 200, but still even like 200 people in your stream is not really a big streamer, but you're big, but you're not.
It's at that funny medium level. It's at that funny level where like, if you're somebody like me, they feel impossibly huge, kind of like with the numbers that, like 10 times the size. But then like you think about it, and it's like they're at the level where they can do it full time, and it's like their main income source. But they're still, you look at you say like Rob CD, or like like so Carl DeLinden, Forest of Wires, who we're talking about, and we've had the merchant Edward DeLinden on the Cave Dweller podcast before.
Yeah. Nice.
When Carl, he talked about this on stream, about the scale of his channel kind of a little bit. When he went to TwitchCon, right? Which for anybody who's watching this who doesn't know what TwitchCon is, it's the like a yearly convention where Twitch streamers can go and you can go meet streamers. Carl went there and he met Joey Chaotic, who is one of the really like, he averages like 4,000, like he can get like 4,000 viewers. And it's interesting hearing a guy like Carl, who is a full-time streamer and is big for us, but like when you hear him talking about meeting Joey Chaotic, and it's kind of like the way we talk about when we talk to Carl. Right, when we meet Carl, it's like the same thing. It's kind of interesting.
Like, was he glowing? It's like, yeah, he was totally glowing, bro.
You get the same thing with musicians, though, especially in like the underground scene, where it's like someone's considered like an absolute legend, and then you talk to like 90% of the population, they have no idea who that person is.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting with music. Music is interesting like that because you get like, yeah, you hear people, you hear the way people talk about some bands in certain fandoms. Like
Yeah.
I do this all the time when I'm thinking about prog music. I'm thinking like Geddy Lee. Like of course he's all time great. Or I think like modern prog music. I'm thinking, it's Dream Theater. They sell 1 million records, but nobody knows who the hell they are though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, they make music in Prague? Like no.
That's the kind of reaction to it.
Yeah.
You say Prague, and they're not thinking about music.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh man.
But you do music as well, Sean. So I mean,
Yeah.
So we've kind of talked about it a little bit. So you do a lot of your music is kind of ukulele centric, right?
Yeah, it's all ukulele for now.
Yeah.
Well,
There it is.
Yeah, it's all ukulele for now. I started doing music when I was really young, probably like 16, I want to say. The kids at school didn't want me to be in their rap group. So
Oh man.
I'm like I could do it myself. So I
Hell
bought
yeah.
like a little portable studio and a keyboard, and this is like all of my allowance,
That's kind of cool.
and I started making beats and I started making music and I figured out how to put it on tape, and then I would pass it around at school. So I basically just wanted the people who told me that I couldn't hang with them because
Yeah.
they were like I was always hood adjacent. So
Right.
I grew up around people who were very hood. Also, they always protected me as like somebody who they knew wasn't from the hood, but I was cool enough to be around anybody.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted them to see like I could rap, like whatever. And so I just passed around a couple of songs then, and then but this wasn't I wasn't playing an instrument. I was just playing the keyboard and then making beats on the portable studio.
Right.
And so I was making music like that for a long time. And then I figured out that when recording audio, if I put the mic next to the keyboard instead of having the audio come from the keyboard, it sounds way more like the instrument that you're trying to make it sound like, right?
Right.
So like if I put the mic to the keyboard and I start playing it like a piano, it sounds more like a piano versus if I plug it in, because you always hear that digital sound.
Because you've got
The
I
MIDI.
get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I started experimenting with that, and then
Yeah.
I basically came to a point where music was just too much for me. Like music didn't really fit in my life as far as carrying around musical equipment and stuff like this. And
Yeah.
so I basically stopped doing music for a while, and then I just had a dream when I was in Alabama that I was going to like play the ukulele on the beach, and I moved to California, and then that's what happened. And so I made my first song on the ukulele, and what I realized was my whole thought process with the ukulele and the way that I have been doing the ukulele is the old blues musicians.
Right.
How there was no internet, there was no Instagram, there was none of this stuff, but their music was still widely known. Like people still knew these people's songs, even if they hadn't necessarily really recorded a record. Because a lot of the blues records that are recorded are basically 10 to 20 years old. You know what I mean? Like the blues records that we're listening to, those are very old records. So we never really get to hear it when it's in its infancy. That's because somehow they've got it around the world, right? Like they got these songs around the world, and so that's how my brain was working. Was that if I play music, I want to be able to just do it. So I want to if I ever get a chance to play the ukulele in front of you, it's over for you. It's done. Like for real, it's over for you. You're never gonna fucking forget it. You're never gonna get the songs out of your head. And the next time you see me, you're gonna say you were right. So it's
I love
happened.
that
It's
vibe.
happened. It happened over and over again. So that's why I never think that I'm not gonna be playing the ukulele, right? Like no matter what I
Yeah.
do, I know I'm gonna be playing the ukulele. So so that's basically where my music where my inspiration, well not my inspiration, but my inspiration to do music
Hmm.
came from. But now 2024, it's time for a change, and I have something in the work. Uh, ukulele. It's gonna be a ukulele. But it's gonna be something different because you
Interesting.
know I was already what the ukulele music scene needed that they didn't know that I needed. Because if you want to be real about it, the scene sucks. They're all playing covers. Nobody's playing anything original. Nobody can remember anything that
Ukulele
anybody
covers,
played
yeah.
on the ukulele.
That's
Yeah,
what people think about, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Wedding
that's what they think about. They're
wedding
like, oh,
music.
I like Tiny Tim, wedding music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What'd you say,
I've
James?
already said wedding
Oh, say
music.
wedding music. There's so many ukuleles at friggin' weddings.
Love
Yeah, it's
songs,
true.
yeah,
It's
love
true.
songs. Well, that was my like
Yeah.
that was my point of coming out of like, yo, okay, I love the ukulele, by the way, I love it. But I'm sick of hearing love songs. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up listening to Project Pat and 3 6 Mafia and all of these different gangster rap music, and now now I love the ukulele, which no fault of my own. I just love it. You know what I'm saying? And now I
Mhm.
got to listen to Tiny Tim. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but like, I'm in the hood. Like, what the fuck? Like, so,
Yes.
so, so that's where my music comes from. It's really about, it's a lot about smoking weed, just having fun.
Yeah.
And I also do have a couple songs about death because I do think that the ukulele is it's a very pretty sound.
That's true.
And when you mix that with darker tones or a little bit like off key, it changes the vibe of it. And I can really I really want to play for funerals. I know that may be crazy or whatever, but like, so
It's an interesting idea.
I've been trying to gear my songs towards uh if somebody was at a funeral, they would be singing this song. Regardless if I did it or not, I just want my songs to be like, I want people to
Yeah.
feel my songs enough to where they're like, yeah, I want this played at my funeral. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to make, so I have like a couple of songs that are about death and stuff like that, but mostly it's all about weed and getting high and stuff like that. So, because you want to hear love on the ukulele, guess what? There's a million songs. There's
Yeah,
a
there's
million.
too much of that already.
Yeah. So
The other instrument that can transform like that is the banjo. It
yeah,
can be
yeah,
really menacing and like really like dark if you play it the right way or with the right accompaniments.
yeah. So I have there's a banjolele, which is like a cross between a banjo and a ukulele, and
Really?
I want to get one. So once I
Oh,
get one, though, I know because I have a lot of ukuleles, but that's the one I need. Like,
that's
That's
cool.
a cool.
so
That's an interesting concept.
yeah,
I kind of like what you're saying though. Like, that sound that we think of as the ukulele, that pretty sound, but the way that it can become, trying to transform it to become kind of more ominous or dark. I mean,
hmm
you can definitely do that with a harp. You hear people,
yeah, yeah,
hear people do that with the harp, and like, you could definitely do that with a ukulele. I don't see why not.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So I have 8 albums recorded, and I think 3 of them are. Is it 3? Yeah, 3 of them are just instrumentals. So the
Yeah,
last one that I did was last year, not 22.
yeah.
And it was basically just Halloween instrumentals, like not Halloween instrumentals that are already existed. I made like
Mm.
new Halloween songs.
Nice.
So it was cool. I don't sell any records, but I still made
That's
it.
not the point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It's not the point. And I know that for me it's not really in the recording, it's in the live performance. So my
Yeah.
mission is to get to performing live again. You know, that's my whole mission.
There's a ton of artists like that, though. You know, I used to love this. There was a punk band. There was a Celtic punk band that
Jack
used to
Flash.
be really, yeah. I used to love them. Did you ever see them, James?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, and they used to. It amazed me because they were great live. They put on a great live show, but they didn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
They sold peanuts on
Yeah.
online. You know, they got barely
Yeah.
any. You know, but sometimes it's like, and it's one of the things I love about doing cave dweller music is sometimes you just like this happens all the time. It's something we're hoping to bring back this year is with our theme weeks. We would find some artists that for whatever reason they just they had absolute diamonds on their Bandcamp page, but they just don't always get play. You know, it can be because of where they're based in the world. It could be a language thing, but there's just there's so many
They
reasons.
just don't get found, basically.
Yeah, they just don't get found. But there's some great stuff out there.
Well, I mean, I think Bandcamp number one is pretty saturated. That it's more of a garage where you know, if you're like, hey, if you want to hear my music, come to my garage. That's like basically it, because nobody's really like Bandcamp doesn't really advertise. It's the same thing that Twitch doesn't do. It's like, yo, advertise the people who are on your platform.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's not that hard. Just have a team for it and then do it. And not only does that make the people on the platform successful, it makes you successful because they're being successful. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know, but
I guess the closest thing is Bandcamp Daily, but that's like you said, it's not enough. They need more.
Yeah, it's not enough. And I don't have a genre. I don't like ukulele music. It's not really like I was talking about the ukulele scene, but for real, there is no ukulele scene. You know what I mean? There's people who play the ukulele, and then that's it. So, you know, I don't really like how am I going to be advertised? Even the live shows that I've been on, I basically just tell them I play the ukulele, and so a lot of times they book me with like these live ukulele or acoustic performers, and then I go in there and I shit on everybody because they're just like, what the fuck? Like now we're smoking weed and talking about death, and I thought this guy played the ukulele. He's like shredding on the ukulele. Like so yeah, it's really hard to kind of branch out of that Bandcamp. But you know, like the whole music industry, man, is really, as an independent artist who I don't have a label, you know, I don't have anything. It's very confusing of how to like really get your stuff out there. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't have anything on Spotify, but then like I said, that I don't really have music that mixes with other music.
Yeah,
you know. And so like I mean, I'm working on that now to where I can kind of have like this mix of ukulele and like music, so it can be played with other music. So because at least the point is for people to hear it, right?
yeah.
And now like I have this catalog of all these songs, these eight albums that I've recorded. So I have a catalog of me playing these acoustic songs that now we can like mix and do whatever to make, you know, real music, I guess. I don't know, Spotify music for people who just ain't gonna be Googling, you know, ukulele mixtape number 5.
Yeah.
You know?
I know what you mean.
So
you I know what you mean. It's interesting. It's interesting when you think about when you mentioned you know, it's hard to know how to actually promote your stuff and how to get out there. You know, I think that seems to be common. Like something I've noticed. It's something I've noticed in helping to run Cave Dweller over the years. Like so many artists, they don't know really. They don't really even know where to start marketing themselves, and you know, and to be honest, like I can understand why a lot of the time they just don't have the gumption to start actively doing the marketing of themselves because they want to be playing.
The industry's changed. It used to be about like you just made the music, someone else got your stuff out there. Like, you know, the label would do that or a promoter would do that or whatever. But now if you're not doing that actively yourself or spending a ton of money to get someone to do it for you, which most people can't afford, it's just not going to get done because nowadays, like, there's so many talented people out there that have music, being good at what you do isn't enough to stand out anymore.
Yeah, well, when I was a comedy, I saw that the people who were rising in the comedy scene were the people who were booking their own shows, man. And you
Right.
don't, and you really, like, it sucks. It sucks to be that way because, you know, it turns into work, right? Like, you know, if I want to
Mm,
be the best comedian, then I need to only be a comedian. I don't need to be doing anything else. And so if I have to worry about booking shows, if I have to worry about how long a comedian is on stage, you know, like all of these little minor things that go with that, it really, for me, it really kills the vibe. It kills the what this. I just literally had 3 conversations about this very thing,
yeah.
about the idea of the process to get the money, which has nothing to do with making the art, right? It has nothing to
Right.
do with making the music or anything like that, the process. But the process from the music's finish to the process to letting the public hear it so they can purchase it or whatever is killing it for me. Like
Mm,
the process, and like I need to figure out how to shift that if I ever want to make money off of my music, my art, anything, because it's basically stopping me right now. And, you know, there's no way that I'm going to sell out for ads. That's just, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not what it is.
yeah, that's
So,
understandable.
yeah. So that's where I'm at, like trying to figure out like how I can make more money or at least get my music heard out. Um, because like we said, there's nobody like Googling, you know, ukulele music
Right.
number 5, you know.
It's weird though because there's been like a blur between, I guess, someone who makes art and someone who creates content. And
Mm,
these days, I don't think there's a lot of bands and artists don't distinguish that anymore from each other. So you have people now, like a lot of people are relying on making content to actually get their music or art to an audience. It's become like
Yeah.
a vehicle for it.
yeah.
Yeah, but now you got to be like this amazing content creator when you're really just trying to make music, you know?
Right,
Like
right,
I
right.
don't want to have to learn all these different programs to get things out there because it's
Mm,
like, okay, if it, so this is one thing I hate recording. I hate recording music. I'm bad at it, okay? And so I don't want to have to learn recording, get good at recording just so I can get people to hear my music because
yeah.
then I have to learn how to market the music. So
Yeah,
now I'm like all of these things when I'm so far away from just creating the
When you just
music.
want to play, you just want to
I
play
just want to make
live,
the
like,
music. Yeah, I want to play live, you know,
yeah,
and not to say that I want to have this manager who is basically sucking me dry, you know. Not like if it's not the
yeah,
energy, then it's the people sucking the money from you and all this other stuff. Like I just want to be able to like I just want to be able to make the music and make a living, like, and not have to worry about like if I'm gonna eat, which is not something that's a reality for me now. But I do feel like if I just went full forced into it, that it just
mm.
really wouldn't be enough, man. You know, but
It's,
I could be wrong.
it's interesting. I think the internet has really thrown a spanner in the works for just for
Hmm.
everything in entertainment,
yeah,
music
Well,
100%.
especially.
well, I have the well. That's the idea of the club, right? Is the club is basically having a community of people. That way, if I do want to do music, I have a community of people right there. If I want to do something
Yeah,
else, I have the community of people right there. And so if they want to leave, they can leave. But mostly people are going to be coming, right? People are
yeah,
going to be coming in because
and
like if
that's they
I
do.
am doing music and then I go viral, right? Boom. That's a whole bunch of people that's going to come in. They're going to find out all these other things. And then so now we have those people staying. And then let's say I do an art project and people love the art. For some reason, it's getting traction. People
Yeah,
come from the art. They come in, they find the ukulele. They're like, oh my God, there's ukulele here too. You know, so it's like that's basically the idea of the club is it's basically that for you to come and have an experience like all the way around 360. Like I want you to have a experience all the way around. So instead of just coming to the Twitch channel or just coming to the music, so
yeah.
when you're introduced, you come to a whole aspect of, you know, what I am or what I want to bring to the world. So
It's interesting because I watched the biopic about Carlos Santana The one that he narrates himself and tells the stories and everything. And he was saying that like when they first played their first gig, they didn't even have a band name. So it was just they were just like practicing on the stage. Some guy heard them, and the guy literally said, "The guy with the band with the Mexican kid on the guitar." And so he's like, "What do you call it?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Santana." So he said, "Just call it the Santana Experience," and that's what they called it. And their first gig ever was opening for The Who, which is friggin' crazy.
Man, that's amazing.
Wow.
He just got put on stage to play with them. And then
they just needed an opener.
Right, exactly. And like they blew the audience away. Apparently they outperformed The Who that night. And so he just kept getting booked for like opening for these bigger bands. And then it came to a point where they got booked as like one of the main acts at Woodstock, and they hadn't even recorded a song.
They didn't have any songs. Yeah.
It's crazy. Amazing. Like that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't really think that the music community is real anymore, right? Like I don't know. I couldn't imagine being booked on a festival, right? Like a real festival. I couldn't imagine it. You know, even though I know I would do a good job, you know, I know I could handle it, but it doesn't really seem very realistic.
Festivals are wild these days anyway. It's like it seems to be something that's just so unstable. Like, it's not a business we're really in, but like, we've been adjacent to, I guess we've sponsored one before, but like, it seems to me like festivals as a concept are a lot more unstable than they used to be. You know, it feels like I hear more about festivals getting cancelled than actually getting staged.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, when I was in San Francisco, this was something that really surprised me.
Right.
Is how many like festivals they used to have that were put on just by like nobodies, right?
Yeah.
Like you have all these people that came up in Golden Gate Park.
Yeah.
They were having these festivals. This is when they were nobodies, right? These people were nobodies, but this was the reason how they got to the status that they were, is because they were playing in these free festivals in the park. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's not really anything like that anymore. You know? Yeah. And that kind of sucks. So
I know what you mean. It's interesting. You were saying with comedy before that a lot of the guys that were really doing well were the ones that were booking their own shows, and that really tracks. That really tracks because I used to be real tight with a guy who did stand up comedy for a couple of years, and he was always having to. I remember him talking about it. He was always having to book his own shows just because like people wanted to go. It's not that there wasn't like an audience for comedy. It was. It seemed to be more that people who had the funds and the resources and venues, they just weren't wanting to. They weren't wanting to run comedy, even though there's an audience for it. So So you got young stand-ups trying to make a name for themselves, and they're having to do all the legwork themselves and having to pay for things and front costs that. If you're some big senior comedian, if you're fucking George Carlin, obviously they never had to deal with that. But like,
right.
But nowadays it's like a lot of that really tracks. You know, like a lot of these guys just having to figure out how to do it all themselves, which is wild compared to what the older guys went through.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like doing the both. You know, and I, even when I was doing,
and you shouldn't
even when I was doing just the music, I didn't like doing both the music and the producing. So comedy, it didn't really check out. But I will say I was successful. Yeah. So I won't say that it didn't work. It did work. I was making money. I was making money, man. It was because, and it was crazy because. If you're too good, people wouldn't work with you.
Right.
So that was another thing, that if you can't be too good, people don't want to work with you. And so I was basically too good. People didn't want to work with me, and I had to basically carve my own way out. But I was very successful. I was making money. People were going to open mics, and I was hosting open mics, and I was getting paid to be there.
That can happen, though.
So I stopped going to open mics altogether. So if you wanted to see me do comedy, you had to come to one of the shows that I booked monthly, and then the weekly open mic where I basically go to practice my jokes.
Yeah.
And then everyone comes to practice their jokes too. So I did very well, but like I said, the whole running it process, getting people to show up and all that other stuff, it takes away from the art. I could be spending time writing jokes or just doing nothing, relaxing, because that's where the art comes from too, doing nothing. So
doing things on your own terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to, and you shouldn't have to, like not everybody wants to do all that busy work, all that legwork. Sometimes you just want to, and I think that's why there's so many artists out there that have we encounter them all the time. There's so many artists out there that I will often find myself saying to James, like, yo, listen to this album. It's amazing. But like, how the hell do we contact them? All they've got is like a Bandcamp page.
I hate that.
All they've got is a Bandcamp page. There's there's nothing. There's no IG. There's no Twitter. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to use IG. Like, that's totally fine if you don't. But you've got to have something. Though. Please, just something, something that I can reach out to you and say, let me play your music. Let me show the world.
Yeah. We want to interview you. Come on the podcast or something. Like, I can't contact you.
Well, when I found out, so I basically, when I quit comedy, I just was like sad boy. I'm like, I don't like anybody. I hate everybody. So I just sat in the bar for a whole year. It was a venue bar, right? So they had live music, they had live comedy. So I just saw it, and I saw that, number one, most of the bands, people don't ask them shit like that, right?
Right.
So they don't know, they don't think in their mind, oh, I should do interviews, I should do this. There should be a way for people to contact us if they want to book us. So a lot of times I would be asking them about, same thing with Santana, which they didn't even have a name. You meet a lot of people who are like that, right? People who are like amalgamation from different bands or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they just happen to be really good in this one band. But what I found is the people who are real and the people who aren't, who are basically, what I'm saying, the people who are going to be sticking to the music, they're going to be doing the music, are the musicians with merch, is what I found. I found the musicians with merch, they're going to be around a lot longer, and they're going to have, per capita, I think, a lot more people in the audience. And a lot of it's return people, right? It's like the return people who are coming back. Like, I came to the first show, it was awesome, I bought a shirt, and I'm coming back for the second show. So that's what I found, is that you should have merch. If you're doing live shows, you should have merch.
Definitely. So. And it's like a lot of musicians and bands, that's their main revenue stream from actually making music. It's not like selling albums, it's selling merchandise these days.
Right. That's true. Merch, man. Merch sells too, man. It sells. Oh my goodness. I used to see, because the bar that I was at, they regularly fucked people. What I mean is, like, if you're a musician and you're performing at that, you better hope they pay you, because they're gonna do everything they can.
Sleazy promoters out there.
It's so sleazy. But what can I say? I was getting free drinks. They liked me hanging out there. Like, I would have people come to me and be like, yo, the bar fucked me, and I'm just like, ugh, like, I don't work there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't work there, because I do that. But yeah, I can't remember what I was bringing that up. If it comes back, it comes back.
That's all right.
Have you seen how some venues now are asking for cuts of bands' merchandise revenue?
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say. Is that basically if you wasn't getting paid from the venue, if the venue, like I said, if the venue fucks you or whatever, you at least get the merch. You get your
merch money. Yeah, that's true.
To what you were saying about have I heard this? So from what I understand is there's certain deals, right? But one deal is you get all of the ticket sales, right? You get all of the ticket sales, and then you share, like, the bar gets the the bar gets all of the bar, right? So anything that's sold at the bar gets it, and you just get everything from ticket sales, and you get your merch. There's also a deal where you get a percentage of the tickets. You got to get percentage of the bar, not percentage of the bar, percentage of the merch. And there's also a deal where basically you don't make money off the bar until a bar makes a certain amount of money.
Okay.
So there's like there's like different deals. So which it's basically, and this is from the shady promoter's perspective of being like they're gonna try everything they can do to not pay you.
Yeah.
So that was it would be easy to trick somebody if, like, say, okay, you guys get paid after you make $500 in bar tabs, and then let's say you make $490, you ain't getting paid,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So, and the bar could just be like, well, you didn't make the quota, blah blah blah, and so there's like there's a lot of tricky ways. But I mean, you just got to be about your business. It sucks. You either got to be about your business or don't expect to be making a shitload of money.
Yeah, I've seen some bands when they're touring now will actually set up the merch stand out the back of their van parked outside the venue, and then sell all their merchandise outside so they don't pay anything.
I mean, that's what you've got to do.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's a smart tactic.
Guys, we're kind of coming up on the hour. Did you have anything else you wanted to chat about?
Yeah. I mean, do you have any other projects that you want to mention, Crybaby? Or have we covered everything?
Yeah, we covered everything. My main focus right now is Twitch, and then I'm always working on ukulele stuff in the background. So right now it's just Twitch. I'm trying to do a fundraiser. I think we're gonna do a fundraiser on 420.
Nice.
Because we still we might even have the IRL equipment before then, because as soon as I put
the whole thing, man.
as soon as I put the IRL stuff on the wish list, and I knew it was going to happen like this. This is how my life works. As soon as I show that there's an interest in something,
yeah,
it gets bought. So I literally have
this with your Throne or something.
It was on Throne, yeah, but I didn't get it through Throne. I got it through other means.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, so I basically have almost everything I need. I just need to get a gimbal. I mean, I definitely have everything I need right now. If I wanted to get started, to get started today, we could. But there's just a couple other things that we need. But so we're gonna have a fundraiser to get the IRL stream equipment that we already have. So that's basically the next thing that's coming up. And then if we do have the IRL equipment, then the money will be used to do other stuff with the stream. Yeah, that's basically all the money. Most of the money that comes from the stream goes directly back into the stream, and I try to show the community that, you know what I mean. It's like because I appreciate. Yeah, because I appreciate that they give me money, and that was another thing I was discussing them with the ads, is that basically we just need money to cover these certain things, right? Discord, Spotify, the movie website that I have, because we use these, we use all of this stuff on stream, so we want to make sure that we're not getting ads and stuff while we're watching certain things. And I just let them know that that's where basically all the money goes to. Also, weed, because I love weed, but I need that too, right? So it's my medicine, all right.
Hey, it's legal now, so
but yeah, so
in most
that's
states.
that's basically where all of the money goes to, is basically making the stream better. And I think that the stream has progressively, from day one, when I was streaming off of a shitty cell phone, to now I'm on a computer and we got the visuals and all this other stuff. Also, I made it to where I can actually play the ukulele on stream now, because for a long time there was there was something with the mic and I couldn't figure out. So now I can play
Yeah.
ukulele on stream. So yeah.
Do you have any shout outs that you want to do?
I just want to send a shout out to the Crybabies and the Crybaby Club. No, no, I don't really have any shout outs. I just want to shout out my channel. It's Crybaby Club. Basically all of the B's in Crybaby Club are sixes. So it's cry6a6yclu6. 666 baby. But yeah, I actually got that idea from this 3-6 Mafia song called 666 Clubhouse.
Yeah,
I love 3-6 Mafia.
They're great.
And so I was basically I wanted Crybaby Club. But I couldn't get it. Somebody already had it. And so I was kind of upset about it. And then I just figured out, I'm like, hey man, these beats look like sixes. So I'm like 666. Oh my God, it's exactly what I wanted, right? It's like I really wanted this. So that's how the cry6a6 Club 6 came. But yeah, that's all I want to say is come there if you wanna see more stuff that I'm doing. I stream almost every day, so if you don't catch me, you'll eventually catch me. So that's all I got.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's been good to have you here.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. This has been great. Oh yeah.
Interesting conversation. Covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we did, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
And you are watching.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, you go, James.
The first episode of what we hope is going to be a series of content creator interviews. So stay tuned, come back, watch some more.
Yeah, and if you're new around here, if you're new to this channel here on YouTube, you can also find us on. You can also find this is Cave Dweller Music. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads. You can find us on Tumblr. CaveDwellerMusic.net is the main one, of course. I'm Dr. Yazman. You can find me on twitch.tv/Dr. Yazman. We have Crybaby Club, cry6a6yclu6, Crybaby Club. All the B's are sixes, 666 baby. And we got Big James here, who you can hear weekly in the Cave Dweller podcast and read his fantastic reviews at CaveDwellerMusic.net as well. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.